People say I'm crazy and that I am
The
blind.
Backstreet Boys are hosting TGIF. Get to know them in one special night.
I want to be with you more than anybody in this entire world.
Sean falls in love in an unforgettable hour of Boy Meets World.
Yes, you love me.
But first, Sabrina meets her hillbilly cousins.
I bet you think we're nothing but witch trash.
It's Lonnie Anderson, by golly. Followed by an all-new Teen Angel. Fuck off!
You can check us out on ABC.
Take notes. Meet Corey, your standard cool big brother, wacky parents, and a girlfriend named Topanga. Right, Topanga. In high school, he deals with the creeps, the geeks, the meanies, the weenies, and, oh yeah, that's Beanie. So, here's your homework assignment. Watch Boy Meets World, now 5 times a week, and repeat after me. Topanga. Whoa.
Weeknights at 6:30 on the WB11.
On Boy Meets World,
I'm Ricky Ferris. I'm sure you don't remember me, but I certainly remember you.
Topanga meets a new guy.
What are you doing for dinner tomorrow night?
And
You're gonna kiss me now, aren't you?
they really hit it off.
I've never had a kiss that meant more to me in my life.
Now she's found the new man of her dreams.
I'm in love with him. I knew it the minute I kissed him.
And Corey's just the forgotten guy.
Cor, what I'm about to tell you is going to make you want to kill me.
When Boy Meets World. Tonight at 6:30. Only on the WB11.
When this boy meets world, boy meets world. Wandering down this road that we call life is what we're doing. It's good to know I have friends who will always stand by me. When this boy meets world.
Sitcom, all ye faithful, a Christmas podcast special where I discuss 25 Christmas sitcom episodes. Please come and listen every day until Christmas. I'm sure we'll feature Fonzie, the Bradys, and Steve Urkel, Dunder Mifflin, Mayberry, and definitely Alf. We'll definitely talk about Alf.
Welcome back, everybody. Happy Saturday morning, and welcome to Sitcom, all ye faithful. Where today, even though it's Saturday, it feels like a Friday, a TGI Fridays. And I'm not just talking about for some buffalo wings, and there's my dog already barking and crying in the background. Folks, doesn't matter. We're not stopping. We're on borrowed time. And I said we again because tonight, I am here talking Season 5, Episode 11 of Boy Meets World. Folks, joining me this evening is a very special member of the Fans Not Experts family. He is he's the Villy to my Manili. That didn't come out right, but you know what I mean. He is the host of a very popular podcast. I would say the most popular podcast on our website, but I don't want to give him that much credit. And I'm talking about, of course, Man Meets World, a podcast that his first foray into podcasting. But he's also a host of a Metallica podcast called The Metallicast. My cousin Brandon, good evening. How are you?
Just splendid. You know, it's funny you mention Man Meets Worlds because that was fun for exactly one episode. And I think I did like maybe 5 or so episodes.
You did 10. I checked.
I did 10 episodes.
It's in the show notes. If people want to link, it's still on iTunes. People can find it.
I did 10 episodes. I'm pretty sure none of them were good. But people did listen. And I'm not sure why. But it became,
based on what we watched today, I agree with you. I'm not sure why.
It became a lot of work, and it made my all-time favorite TV show.
Oh boy.
Into homework, which was just not something I could tolerate. You know, people talk about The Wire. Yeah, that's a good TV show. People talk about Breaking Bad. Another great TV show. People talk about, the greatest comedies. The Simpsons. Yeah, hilarious, especially back in the day. But what about BM Dubs?
Now, this exactly. What about BM Dubs? There was so much about this episode that annoyed me. Now, 1997. Where were you in 1997?
Where was I in 1997? I must have been in 7th grade, listening to Reload in my bedroom and having inappropriate thoughts about Topanga Lawrence.
I was in college, and everything else is pretty much the same. No, see, I don't think I watched. Here's the funny thing. I remember the early seasons. Then it was there. And then I remember staying home on Friday nights married with my wife watching TGIF, hanging out. And that's where we watched kind of the ending. And I remember we watched every week. It annoyed us, and yet we kept watching. Like, I would yell at the screen, this is so stupid. Let's keep watching. One more episode, another episode.
What I appreciate about Boy Meets World is that it always was like in on the joke and like the stupidity of it all. You know, like it always made fun of itself. I have noticed
that, yes.
You know, it's like it recognized when it was ridiculous, and it always was like self-deprecating, and would oftentimes like break the fourth wall in a way where it was like, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Like, we know this is ridiculous that Mr. Feeney is with us in college. And, you know.
Does Mr. Feeney have any family? Any family?
Well, we find in season 1 that he has a sister, but she's never heard from again. I'm pretty sure he murdered her and got away with it.
Because he spent Christmas with them, too.
Well, what I love about this episode is that...
Please tell us what is to love about this episode.
Everybody spends Christmas with the Matthews. We have Topanga who is there, which at least they provided a reason for her to be there rather than with her own family.
And am I correct that they never show her family?
Oh, they show her family. She has a... she had a sister in one episode. And then became an only child later on the show, if I recall. And they had she had a mother in the later episodes, and she had a father that was played by numerous greats. Most notable was Peter Tork from the Monkees.
Jeez, rest in peace.
And the one and only Michael McKean.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
And then there was another guy, but he was just sort of like another
Who
guy.
gives a shit about him?
Right.
So this episode, A Very Topanga Christmas, is all about... Well, first of all... Well, no.
Well,
I'll say what it's all about.
First of all, Season 5, Episode 11, available now, streaming on Disney+. If I were you, I'd buy the full DVD and Blu-ray box set. So in case if, you know, Disney+ ever ceases to exist... You have it. We're going to ignore the dead technology part of what I just said.
I'm assuming you have it on DVD.
I have. So funny story. I had seasons 1, 2, and 3 on DVD. This was back when you had to get like the big box sets of the TV shows. And then I just never got around to buying the rest of the seasons until I bought the complete series DVD
Christ.
box set. So at one point, I gave away seasons 1, 2, and 3. I actually gave it to my brother Matt. So there was a period of my life where I owned seasons 1, 2, and 3 Boy Meets World twice.
You were the one. So this episode is all about Topanga spending her first Christmas with the Matthews family and how she's really just being a bitch and throwing her own traditions over the Matthews. And every Matthews is family, like all the guys are just kowtowing to whatever she wants. And then Corey, of course, takes it to the extreme and is like, I don't think I could spend my life with her. I need to think about it. But before we get into the nitty gritty,
let's talk about the Brady Bunch.
Okay, I know you want to say that to the end because I know you said you want to talk about that.
Yes.
But the theme song. Now I have both theme songs playing in this episode, but we opened with the weirdest theme song ever. It just felt like, yes, I know Happy Days had a second theme song, which was Sunday, Monday, Happy Days, but this literally was, it's Boy Meets World. It's Boy Meets World.
When it's Boy Meets World, Boy Meets World.
And they're just kind of on some Disney backlot, all kind of just hanging. Just do something funny, guys.
It's what we're doing. He does get that friends who always.
It just made, like, the original one had like that fun musical instrumental, but the theme song is just garbage.
The theme song is what I love about the theme song is that it makes zero sense.
Thank you.
But what they decided to do was, I believe it was Bob Dylan who composed this piece.
Under his full name.
It was actually Bob Dylan and Paul McCartney. It was a co-write, and the two of them worked closely together to create this composition. And
the original version is 17 minutes long, right? Am I correct?
Yes. They had to greatly edit it down for the TV show, but you can get it on the complete series DVD box set. There's a full lyric video. It just says it's Boy Meets World for 17 minutes. But when all you have to work with is the name of the TV show, I think they did a brilliant job. It's it's what the kids call a banger. It's a banger.
What season did this theme song start? It wasn't the first one, so there was like a built-in, I would say mythology, but like a story. There was like something they could have built on.
Yeah, this episode, this series had a few different openings. This is my personal favorite on the Disney backlot, with the greatest theme song ever written. And I believe season 5 actually might have been the first season it appears in.
Okay.
And I think it was the last few seasons, 5, 6, 7, then R.I.P.
Then they brought later on they started expanding it. We got the second. What's his name? The Matthew Lawrence. He comes in. We get the future porn star. She comes in.
Oh, remind me to tell you about the Lawrence Brothers Christmas movie as well. That's also on the agenda. This is gonna be a 3-hour podcast.
We have as long as my dog allows.
I will. If you need to leave, I will stay on here and talk an hour about the Lawrence Christmas movie.
Got your kids. Your kids are asleep. I see. I'm guessing.
They're asleep. They'll be up in about an hour. They can wait.
So, Topanga, and I have the episode actually playing while I'm going in. Disney Plus didn't really get a high quality version. I don't know if they just never saved
So, I was watching this on a.
It's pre-HD, but
I watched it on Disney Plus today. I should say I rewatched it, and I have to say, I was unpleasantly surprised at the quality of the stream. It looks looks like they took like the original, like they taped it off ABC and then just put it on Disney Plus.
I was expecting to see the commercial like cut and then come back and the tracking go through.
Yeah. It was not a great quality stream. A series of this caliber really deserves a higher quality stream than this, but I'm sure it's in the works from Disney. They have nothing else going on. They have nothing else going on.
No, they have time. So Topanga shows up, and all of a sudden she just starts kind of talking about her traditions. Oh, you have eggnog. We like mulled cider. I was like, okay.
I like how the Matthew said they're an eggnog family.
Yes, they're an eggnog family.
Topanga, I love you. I'm going to defend you throughout most of this, but every family is an eggnog family at Christmas time. Okay,
Mulled cider.
Nobody does the cider,
Yeah,
but that
cider's-
also adds to like the quirkiness of the Topanga character.
I
You know, like-
suppose it's very layered. It's
Yeah.
like cider to me is like fall.
Yes,
My dog
yes.
wants to go out. I'm not going to pause anything. Just
I'm going to talk a little bit about the difference between cider. So, you see, eggnog. Let's start there. Eggnog is a great holiday drink. I actually have some eggnog right now in front of me. It is not the healthiest for you. Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, it's not that healthy for you. But it's delicious. And eggnog, historically also known as a milk punch or an egg milk punch, when alcoholic beverages are added, which mine does have that added. It's a rich, chilled, sweetened, dairy-based beverage. It is traditionally made with milk, cream, sugar, whipped egg yolks, and egg whites. It gives it a little frothy texture. Distilled spirits such as brandy, rum, whiskey, bourbon, often a key ingredient. I myself am using the whiskey. Now, let's talk about the cider, all right? Let's talk about the cider. So, the thing is with the cider, and I mean this with the utmost respect of Topanga and the whole Lawrence family, but Mike was right. Cider is a fall beverage, whereas eggnog is a Christmas beverage. Now, cider can sometimes be an alcoholic beverage. It's made from the fermented juices of apples, and she likes it warmed. I'm not sure if I've ever had warm cider, but, I've definitely have had cold cider. I like it in the fall time, but once we're past Thanksgiving, it's eggnog season. And I think, we can all agree to such as an eggnog family, that we are all eggnog families, and everybody deserves at Christmas time to be an eggnog family.
I don't know what was said, but you timed that perfectly. Oh boy! So I'm back. So as I was saying, what was I saying? Oh, like all of a sudden cider, and they're like, go to the store and get her cider. It's like, you're a guest in this house.
Yes.
Enough.
Yeah.
And she talks about the real tree. I mean, that's the silliness, I guess, of it. They all go to get they all drive, what they say, 6 hours to Vermont to get a real tree. I have to look at it through the lens of stupidity. Then maybe I can appreciate it a little more. She pulls out an angel. He wants macaroni. I mean, there's just, those pancakes look wonderful. But at this point, Corey was already being stupid.
Yeah, I mean, can I just say, Eric was Corey's older brother, was giving him a bit of a hard time for being a little whipped, And
he overreacted to it.
And, what I have to say is, I would make the argument that all the Matthews men were a little bit whipped to Topanga. Now, think about that for a moment, all right? This is how hot Topanga is. She had her boyfriend, her boyfriend's older brother, and her boyfriend's father in the palm of her beautiful hand. Her beautiful, sweet, fragile hand. Like her with the fingers that just caress.
Okay, we get it. She has a hand. We understand.
I should say I have a hand fetish, but only with Topanga.
You have a Topanga fetish.
But this is not her best showing as a character. She does come across a little bit like a bee, but let's be honest. If I am Corey Matthews, I am letting myself get dominated.
See, that's the thing.
Lawrence.
Corey, shut the hell up. Eat the pancake. Say, we can't. We don't have. Maybe next time we'll get cider. Maybe tomorrow. She wasn't.
Yeah.
She wasn't arguing about it. She brought it up. She'd like it, and you just gave in. You didn't even say no.
Yeah.
If she pushed back, then you do exactly what she says at all times.
Yeah. I mean, who's going to argue about Christmas tree pancakes? Do you know, I'm going to wake up tomorrow morning and be praying that I get round pancakes, never mind Christmas tree pancakes. And guess what? There will be no pancakes. I'm just saying right now.
She like he wanted to have syrup because they drove so far to get it. That was funny. And she says, no syrup. We're gonna have snow. Yeah, okay. Thank you for making me breakfast. Instead, he's like, I'm not hungry. I need to go. Is that when he left?
He did leave, but you're also leaving out the part where she got him up at 3 a.m. and he was like, come into my room.
That is true. He very much wanted to bang her. I've been trying to use that joke all day. To bang her.
And Topanga's like, well, what are you doing? And he's like, it's 3 a.m. Usually I'm sleeping and having dreams. And in my dreams, you do this and come into my room. Oh, classic Corey. Always a horn dog. Always a horn dog.
Classic. Oh,
classic
Ben Savage.
Corey. Yes.
Savage Ben.
You know, the Savage brothers are savages.
Absolutely.
You know, I knew it from the moment I saw Fred in The Wizard, and he wore that power glove, and it was just like, dude, you're a savage.
You know what he wants to do with that glove.
Oh yeah. Talk about
Excitebike. Oh, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, talk about them Wonder Years. You know what I'm saying?
I think I know what you're saying. I know we're going. Ooh, did I see eggnog just then?
I'm an eggnog family. I told you. So he was going to take that power glove and enjoy his Wonder Years by playing with this little monster.
You know, it's nice you're an eggnog family, but I'm a Fresca family. Can you get me a Fresca?
The way you drink that is very disturbing.
You don't hold your can. You don't hold your cans with both hands on the fingertips like this.
I don't hold my can like I would picture you holding a penis. I mean, I don't. I would never picture you holding a penis. I mean, I don't. I'm not that I pictured that.
Yes.
Anyways, Topanga, did I talk about her hands yet?
You've talked too much about hands, I think, in this episode. So then that's right. He has the night where she tries to wake him up.
Yeah. So then he is the next morning. So he's a little cranky too. You have to remember, he got woken up at 3 a.m. by this beautiful woman who would not sleep with him. He's a little backed up. He's got the blue balls.
That seems about right.
Yeah. So now he's like, all right, well, at least this bee made me pancakes. No syrup. That's the last straw. I got to go and question the rest of my life with this gorgeous woman, recognizing that I'm a 5 and she's a 12. Let me, question if my future is with her.
Like, he's the dad. Down in Girl Meets World, did he constantly leave his family due to some kind of food oversight?
I have to say the breakups were very dramatic on the show. Classic 90s teen show where like every disagreement or every new revelation about the person like resulted in a breakup. It's like, oh, you pee when you sit down? Corey?
I pee standing up, so we need to break up.
Well, that's the problem. Corey peed sitting down, Topanga pee standing up. So then...
Which episode is that?
That would be episode 8. Season 8. It's the lost season.
I was going to say, that's the one you're writing. That's your fan fiction.
You can find it on Amazon under my pen name, Corey Topanga.
Go on. Oh. I'll let you bury yourself. This is hilarious. I'll let you go. We have all night. So it's at this point he leaves.
He leaves. And when you leave and you are frustrated with your woman, and I say this as a married man, there's only one place to go. Sean Hunter's place.
Now, Sean Hunter lives with his brother at this point.
Jack, yes.
Matthew Lawrence. Can you remind me how Jack came into the picture?
Sure, of course I can. I thought
I knew I could count on you.
I've been waiting for you to ask. So
because I remember him
basically,
being there. I remember him being his brother, who we found out about later. I didn't remember him being rich.
Oh yeah, so the story of Sean Hunter is that he grew up in a trailer park, and his family was always like low income, struggled. That's an eggnog burp because I'm an eggnog family. And anyways,
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Anyways, he that's really started in season 1. Actually, it started with a Christmas episode in season 1 where Sean's father got laid off and he did not have money to give to the class to buy a gift for Mr. Feeney, because of course Mr. Feeney was still their teacher. So then, long story short, Corey covered him without him knowing, and they all lived happily ever after. But so that was the story of Sean Hunter, right?
We never got to that on Man Meets World, did we?
No. And then his mother, his mother leaves. There's always like big family drama. And all of a sudden, Jack shows up. Jack had the same father, different mother, while his mother got remarried to a man of money.
Ooh.
And so he grew up with a very different life.
That's my wife's dream.
That's all of our wives' dreams. Not knowing that Sean existed till later in life, if I recall. And then he hunted him down, and they became... The hunter became the hunted.
Ooh, very good.
Pretty good. I spent all day thinking.
You actually surprised yourself that you did that.
I did. I did.
So they're there hanging out, and they're trying to figure out Christmas traditions.
Because this is their first Christmas together.
Christmas
we have 2 first Christmases, which is pretty amazing when you look at the rich history of this show. Right?
I can't believe the 5th season is Corey and Topanga's first Christmas together.
Right, they've only known each other since the monkey bars, right? When they, which is a controversial statement to make for all of you Boy Meets World fans out there, because the story changes, right? We see them meet in season 1, and then they have this monkey bar side story that develops in later. It's a big controversy where their first meeting and kiss was.
Holy shit!
I like to think it was at the monkey bars, though, because that makes their love.
I'm so glad we chose this and not
longer.
Saved by the Bell.
The Saved by the Bell one is great, though, because Zach falls in love with a homeless girl.
Next year.
That was a 2-parter.
I hope you'll be there for both. Oh, my God. That took me out of it for a second. So... is this when Corey shows up? Who gives a shit? Corey ends up showing up at the Hunter's house.
Yeah.
That's when they discover they both like figure skating. Not figure skating, ice skating.
Ice skating.
Yeah.
Which is, let's be honest. Sean would never go ice skating if he was poor in a trail park. That doesn't happen to White Trash.
You could get secondhand skates, and they have winters there, so maybe not at a rink. You can go to a pond.
That's true. They went to the trailer park pond,
right,
I guess.
Where Jack said he ice skated in France. It was a little different.
Now, my only question is, he grew up in this trailer park with Vader. Did Vader ice skate? That's what I want to know.
Yes, obviously. For those of you who don't know what the hell he's talking about, it's not Darth Vader. It's a wrestler named Vader who was on an episode and whose son was
episodes.
Episodes.
He was a recurring character.
Of course he was. Who wasn't?
Yes. Mankind wasn't. He was only in 1 episode.
It is nice to have someone who knows, like, their stuff. It's nice to bring in an expert to talk about things.
This is the saddest thing that I'm an expert about.
So they leave to go ice skate, and then Corey says he's going to stay and watch A Christmas Carol, which just happened to be on. He figures if Feeney... Oh, yeah, I know what happened. Feeney was going to do A Christmas Story.
It's another Matthew's
Christmas
tradition.
Carol.
Yeah.
And what did Topanga? She's like, wouldn't it be great if we acted out? And he's like, no, Mr. Feeney does all this. And she's not even listening.
Yeah. She's like, I'm hot. I want to act. Corey should have been like, listen, you can strip while Mr. Feeney reads, and we'll all be happy. But I will give Mr. Feeney credit because he did not crumble to her demands like the rest of the Matthews did.
Chance.
All right, he was like, I am Ebenezer. I am the ghost of,
I'm
all the ghosts. I'm everybody. I am this book. I am leaving. Peace out.
Feeney out. And am I correct that I don't think Topanga apologizes to anybody for what she's done in this episode?
No, we're just left to feel sympathy for her after Corey walks out on her.
Right. Corey walks out on her. He goes to watch A Christmas Carol. And of course, classic sitcom, he falls asleep and has a dream specifically about what he's watching with Mr. Feeney as the ghost of Christmas future.
Which I thought this was brilliant because I've never seen a show before recreate the Christmas Carol. It just has never happened.
It's happened in this podcast.
It has never happened. It's just such a really
it's never happened so poorly. We could say that
it has never. It's just such a unique, original way to really flesh out these characters that are just really beautifully written.
I thought it was surprising that Corey said Mr. Feeney looked like a doorman at the plaza. I didn't know Corey knew what door. Like you wouldn't think a 15-year-old kid or however old he is would. That would be the first thing he'd go with him looking like a doorman.
But he was always wise beyond his years. That Corey
obviously,
Matthews.
Naturally. So Mr. Feeney, I'm sorry, the Ghost of Christmas Future, takes him to show.
Or shall we say the Ghost of Christmas Feeney?
Let me mark down to edit that out. Okay, so we go to, I don't know where we go. We go to some house. Wait, first we go to his apartment, and we see old Eric. Bald.
Oh yes. Eric walks in with like the aluminum tree and the eggnog. Then he takes off his hat and he shows that he's bald. And Corey's like, "Oh wow, he really let himself go. His looks are gone." And then Eric's like, "Oh, I got your pants put out there."
Yeah, and then we get the cop out.
Yeah,
I wanted to see Ben Savage, bald cap, or I wanted some. When that guy first came out, I thought, wow, they really did a lot of. Wait a minute, that's not even him. And I realized they didn't want to do split screen or anything like that. That was, I don't know who this guy was. I'm sure you know everything about him. Go give me his biography.
Well, you see, he actually played Santa Claus's elf in the Santa Claus movie. I'm just making all this up.
I was like, wow, this is sadly good.
But you know why they never did that? Because Corey was in that shot, and they didn't want to spend the money or the time to have to edit it so there would be,
I saw Family Ties did it 9 years earlier.
Listen, we don't have Michael J. Fox money. We have Ben Savage money. All right?
You have Disney's money, my friend. So
Disney was saving all their money to send all their sitcoms to Walt Disney World later that year.
That's true. They always go at a specific time. The one thing it was a nice touch where we see that Corey still hasn't forgotten Topanga because every meal, every day, 3 times a day, and at 3 a.m. because he wakes up at 3 a.m. every day.
Mm-hmm. Still with a boner.
Yeah, of course, naturally.
Yeah. Or as he calls it, a boner.
Yeah. Well, I'll decide later in post whether to keep that. So he eats those pancakes, the Christmas tree pancakes for every meal.
He eats those pancakes.
And if he just ate those pancakes constantly, you'd think he'd be a little fatter. I thought the guy looked all right. I thought he was,
Yeah, but I thought it was kind of, insulting to the man because he wasn't like comically overweight.
Right. They didn't make him look like overly ugly or anything.
He was just like your average chubby guy on the street.
I got a job. What are you? I'm the older Ben Savage's worst case scenario. Oh, okay, great, wonderful.
Congratulations.
That's my agent could get me.
To which somebody replied, "I thought Ben Savage was the worst case." Like Ben Savage.
Ben Savage. He still looks like Ben Savage to me.
He will always be my Ben Savage.
He still looks like the guy that you say, wait, how did he score Topanga? So we leave the Matthews, whatever the hell they are, that apartment, that other set that they kept for years, and we go to another house where now he's creeping through the window, and he sees Topanga, and he's happy because Topanga's alone and sad. But is she? All of a sudden, for some reason, and this actually was funny because I forgot Matthew Lawrence was pretty funny on the show. Mm-hmm. Earlier, he's like, I don't know who this girl is. I don't know. There's some girl here. I don't know who she is. And then when in the future dream, he says, you don't know me very well, but I'm glad you married me, or something like that.
Yeah.
So Corey sees her new life where she's happy. She's got a husband. She's got kids. She loves Jack, but she still has. Now she doesn't have a natural tree. She has an aluminum tree. Kind of, he's still on her mind. And I don't remember what happened after that. Then he just kind of woke up or something.
The dream ended, and they showed in real time Topanga in the Matthews kitchen saying, "Oh, I ruined everything. This is all my fault. Corey's not home for Christmas." But then,
so she did at least admit that this is all her fault. And then Corey's mom kisses her softly on the forehead. I'm sure you rewound
and I
that.
said, "You missed the lips, Mrs. Matthews."
I shouldn't have sipped so shortly after that. Yeah. So the dream ends. He realizes, I don't know what the hell he realizes. He runs back to the house. Oh, that's right. We forgot about the caroling. She says, I want to go caroling. He's like, I don't sing. And that was the final straw. That was what set him off.
Yeah.
So while Topanga's, sulking, she...
And also, in fairness to Topanga, he said, I can't sing, not that he doesn't like to sing.
That's true.
It was bad wording by him.
And there's a lot of that, and bad writing. And I'd also say that he's wrong because while she's home sulking, all of a sudden you hear the voice of an angel outside the door, Corey singing his ass off.
I said to myself, wait, is that Mrs. Brady? Oh. No, it's Corey Matthews.
Corey Matthews singing outside his own house as if he's not allowed in.
Yeah.
He goes in, they make up, they give each other promise rings. Very cute.
Yes.
I don't know if 1997, I don't think I was engaged yet. I think it was the following year. So, and then the episode ends with all of them sitting around while Mr. Feeney starts reading A Christmas Carol, and then it comes back to seeing them all asleep while he finishes the story and then steals all their wallets. I assume that's what happened.
Yes. It's really just a beautiful ending. I don't think you must see a lot of singing throughout these episodes that you're doing. I feel like every great Christmas sitcom episode has that tender carol moment that really pulls
Carol Brady?
heartstrings.
We're not there yet. The only thing I wanted was at the end when everyone was asleep, I wanted them to show Sean asleep and then show Jack just like staring perfectly awake. I think that would have been funnier. But, I'm not in the Boy Meets World writer's room 23 years ago.
It shows. Because you're a hack.
Yeah.
You're a hack.
Wait a minute. Oh, yeah. It's only 1997. It was 15 years after Family Ties, and they couldn't do a good green screen. Ridiculous.
They were going to Disney World. Hello.
So that's Boy Meets World. Now,
no.
Ooh.
It is Boy Meets World.
Now,
Boy Meets
usually this is when I'd end the show. We talk about one episode, but somebody wants to go back and talk about something that already happened.
Oh,
I already talked about day one.
I was so disappointed in you. All right. I'm going to take over the reins from here. So I listened to your first episode, and I was like, oh, it's an excellent breakdown of the Brady Bunch. And I can relate to you, whereas like you were saying how the Brady Bunch was always on during your childhood, even though it was like an older show. Even, in my childhood, and I'm younger than you, I feel like it was always on. And Brady Bunch was like a top 5 show for me when I was a kid. And for some reason, because my family's fucked up, a big part of my childhood was the TV movie A Very Brady Christmas.
That was on Hulu.
Oh, it's on Hulu.
Yeah.
Have I rewatched in recent years? Hell yes. Is my wife ashamed of me every time I watch it? Hell yes. Will she let me ever show it to my children? Hell no.
Is this the
But
one
do I
with-
watch it by myself every chance I get every Christmas? Yes.
Is this the one where Mike is a race car driver? I mean, Bobby's a race car driver.
Bobby's a race car driver. All right. Let's
Cindy's
talk
a
about
whole
Very
different
Brady
actress.
Christmas. So what you need to know is that they tried to resurrect the Bradys as like this drama series called The Bradys.
I remember
when
this
they were all grown up.
This was
like the 1980s.
This is the one that kicked off that because of this movie. That's when they tried to make the show.
Yes. So they all basically, long story short, they're all adults. They all have families. They all come back together in the Brady house for a big Brady family Christmas. They all have like different drama. So like Greg is like, with his family, but his wife is with her family. So they're apart for Christmas for the first time ever. And then Marsha's husband got laid off from his toy company job, and Bobby's a race car driver and doesn't want to tell his parents. Cindy dropped out of college. No, Cindy was going on a skiing trip. Bobby dropped out of college to race cars. Cindy was going to go on a skiing trip with her friends, but then was told to come home and be with the family. And she was like, I'm not a little girl anymore. Jan was going through a divorce with her husband. It was just, everybody was a mess. Everybody was a mess.
What about Peter?
Peter was dead. He died.
That did not happen.
No, Peter was dating his boss, and he had a hard time dating a woman that made more money than he did. Just to show the times. To show the times. So yeah, it's a fantastic movie. My favorite part is when they're all depressed in the middle of the night and they eat all the pies that Alice made, because Alice is still there. She came back because Sam the butcher cheated on her.
Are you serious?
Yeah, dead serious. Dead serious. So she comes back and crashes their family Christmas. But instead of being like a normal house guest, she resorts back to Alice the maid and is
well, at least she wasn't living there
them.
anymore.
So she makes all these pies, and then they're up in the middle of the night, like eating all the Christmas pies. And then Alice spends all of Christmas like looking for the pies. It's classic. It's classic.
And then they all decide together to go over and kill Sam.
Well, that's the best part, is that they all have Christmas dinner. They all like confess or come clean or accept like their differences or repair their stuff. So they all have like this happy ending. So everything's like, everything works out for everybody, except we're about to end the movie and Alice, her shit's not been resolved. And then there's a knock at the door. Mike, it's Santa Claus. And who's dressed up as Santa Claus? Sam the butcher.
And why was he dressed up as Santa Claus?
I've been such a stupid man. Who would ever cheat on a woman like you? Oh, Sam, I forgive you. It's literally that quick. Yeah, spoiler alert.
He's in a Santa outfit, I'm assuming, because it's a different actor because Sam's dead. I think.
Probably. I forget if they ever show him. So the parents, of course, also have problems, too. So Mike, he had a mean boss, and he's an architect. So he has to, and they want to cut corners. And Mike's like, no, you got to do it by the book. You got to do it by the book. Well, it's Christmas Day. The building crumbles down.
I remember that. Yes.
And they have to call in the architect for an emergency. I don't know why they don't call the fire.
Do they sing outside the building? No.
Mike. Oh, they sing. So Mike goes in. he gets everybody out by himself. Like he rescues like his mean boss, the whole team that's stuck, but then it crumbles more. Mike is stuck inside the building.
And then they need to race him to the hospital. Is there a race car driver here?
He's stuck inside the building. Cindy approaches Mrs. Brady and is like, Mom, remember that time you lost your voice? And I asked Santa Claus to get your voice back? And then you did, and you sang that song.
So there is a connection. Thank God, because I was like, how late are we doing this?
And then she starts singing the song, which I believe is, Oh, sitcom, all ye faith. How do you even make that work? How do you even make that work?
Sitcom, all ye faithful. As a music teacher, you'd think you'd know how to...
All sitcoms, all ye faithful.
Yeah, we'll go with it.
Anyways, so then they sing the music, frees Mike from the rubble, and they all have a very Brady Christmas.
Cool. All right, thanks for coming. Anyway, listen, you can find me on Twitter.
So then there's the Lawrence Brothers Christmas movie.
The fact that she sang, and it's a callback to that episode, and of course to episode 1 of Sitcom All Ye Faithful, is why I have you here this evening, Brandon. And another reason I have you here is because now you've made it very difficult for me to edit around some of the things you said. I'm going to do my best.
I would not be doing my job if I did not give you an editing job to do. And it really just shows my trust in you that this will appear and I will still have a family and a job on Monday.
I do that for you because you're family.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So do you want to tell, I mentioned Boy Meets World, but what else? What else do you host in the world? You are a podcaster.
I am, and I am. You might not recognize from my love of Saved by the Bell and Boy Meets World and the Brady Bunch, but I am also a big fan of the heavy metal, and specifically Metallica. Yeah. So I host this.
I've heard of them.
Yeah, they're coming up, and I host this podcast called Metallicast, the Metallica podcast. A few people are listening to it, so if you're a Metallica fan, and of course you are, everybody's a Metallica fan. Even Corey Matthews is a Metallica fan. You need to download, subscribe, leave a positive 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, and that's about it. You can follow me on social media at MetallicaSpot on Facebook, Twitter, and the Instagram.
And it is available at fans.experts.com/Metallicast and everywhere podcasts are available. It's the real deal. He gets actual guests. Me, my guest, I get him. So, it is what it is.
I make a good guess.
Yeah.
I make a good guess for podcasts that need it's a very niche thing. If they need a Metallica fan and a Boy Meets World expert, I am there.
You're the one. You're the one.
I am the one, yes.
So thank you, Cousin Brandon. I don't know if people realize he's my cousin, but anyway, thank you, Cousin Brandon.
You're welcome, Cousin Mike.
We used to spend every Christmas Eve together. Now we
know.
Zoom from hundreds of miles away.
Are you going to watch a Pee-wee Christmas this year?
Oh, yeah. That and Muppets.
Speaking of our messed up families, that was our Christmas Eve tradition.
Yeah, and it became ours because we'd watch it with you guys. And I truly was like, oh my God, what have I been missing all these years?
Yeah. I used to watch it, and then I would get too drunk and fall asleep during it. That was my Christmas tradition.
And that's when you were 12.
Yeah, that was when I was 12.
Yeah. So he's going to keep talking unless I finish things.
So anyways, the Lawrence Brothers Christmas.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Geek Mentality. The website is
Joey Lawrence.
fans.experts.com.
It even features
I'm getting lightheaded. And, of course, Facebook page is Fans Not Experts. I want to thank Brandon once again, who won't shut the fuck up. I want to thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing. And until tomorrow, I need to get this done.
Wait. Did Brotherly Love have a Christmas episode?
I don't care. Here is my theme song, please. This is my podcast. I made it. Geek Mentality's what I named it. And I think you should listen and subscribe.
'cause I'm kinda funny and awesome. I think that I'm worth your time, and I'm kinda handsome. My mom says, please listen and please subscribe. At least listen to this episode.
I can't use this. I'm not using this. What does that do? I have to edit. All that was, it was going so well. You fucking ruined it. I hate you. I have to edit all this now. Oh my god.
Fans not experts.